combination.
Yeah.
And if the answer is this one guy, hey, put that guy in. You know, you should. Those are variables that you need to learn how to solve.
And so many times when I ask that question, the answer is me. Like I just thought I should stop here. Like, hey, if they're not looking at you and they're not shooting at you, get as much out of that opportunity as you possibly can. Again, Shock playing kind of like they're up on points instead of down on points. 3-on-3 situation, so it's not like they're down on bodies or down on field position. They got good field position. It's a 3-on-3, but the guy in the snake is just taking a knee, looking across the field, not even shooting his gun. Now he brings his gun up, but he shouldn't be trying to shoot a guy across the field. He should be trying to go down the tape and either shoot the guy in front of him or go down the tape and then shoot guys across the field. Way easier to shoot from their snake than it is from your snake.
Well, this is exactly what X Factor wanted to happen.
Yeah, for sure. This is playing into X Factor's hands. They can sit back, shoot their guns, not make any mistakes, rest up for the future matches. And you guarantee that they're kind of sitting in there relaxed and calm, and the Shock guys are in there with their hearts just racing.
You know, this is what I got to say. If you're Shock and you're heading into this point and you have a little under 5 minutes to work with and you're down by 3, if you're not winning that point knowing you need 3 points in the next minute and 30 seconds or so, you can't let this happen. You can't let the game start to slow play. You have to start risking moves.
Yeah.
You're not going to win any way else.
Yeah, because eventually you got to kill those guys. So, you know, and you only have so long to kill them, and the longer you wait, I mean, the less chance you have to kill them again and again and again for those second, third, and fourth points. So figure out what the absolute best chances you have of being successful are and go execute.
Yeah, because guys will say, oh, well, you know, guy was putting me in, or this guy had a lane on me, I didn't want to run through the lane.
There's always going to be someone putting you in. There's always going to be a lane on you.
Look, okay, I get the explanation, but that is no excuse. Because if you do not attempt to run through that lane or put that guy in and go with us down by 3 and not a lot of time, then this is what's going to happen. Yeah. You're basically assuring a loss instead of rolling the dice to potentially give us a chance to win.
And like we've talked about 1,000 times, if you try to do the right thing and it doesn't work, it's okay. You still try to do the right thing. It's not, you know, it's not always going to work. But if you're not trying to get better and you're not trying to do the right thing, we don't know that you knew what you were doing.
As the game time expires, exactly what we're just talking about. And a smart coach should definitely know that, right? So I'm not going to be knocking my guys for attempting a reckless move when we're down 3 with 4 minutes left, because we have to score 3 points. So I'm going to be saying, hey, good try, kid. You know, I'm going to be happy that you attempted to do something. Where I'm going to be yelling at you is if exactly this happens.
If you do a 5-on-3, Joe, and you walk out after the clock's over.
At 1,000%. So an unfortunate loss here for Aftershock. Didn't work out for them. X Factor taking the victory. Let's check in with Lauren.
Hey guys, Uprising has a 1-point lead, and this could be the last point, but there's not a ton of strategic talk happening in the pits. They're just saying they need to keep pushing. They're not taking their foot off the gas. They know that these guys are going to give them a good point, and they want to go out there and play as offensively as they can. Back to you.
That was absolutely what they should do, because that's how they're beating Infamous right now, and Infamous is not impact in their ability to slow the game down. Infamous wins well when they're going forward. Yeah. Same with Uprising. So if you're beating another aggressive team at your own games, and you're the style of game you play, then yeah, your choice, you have to go for it. And it looks lots of chaos here happening. This one, bodies are coming off all over the place. But better field position right now for Thomas Taylor.
Yeah, and they have a slight body advantage too.
Yeah, so Uprising just losing too many bodies here. They allow Thomas into the 50-yard line. They're putting no pressure, and so he is in that funnel of death, but receiving, you know, no paintballs being shot back at him.
Yeah, only 2 players left for Uprising, the Dorito Tower and the Snake Corner. Both those guys are in tough spots. Thomas Taylor did take a hard bounce going in there, but bounce is a bounce. Infamous finishing with 4 guys left alive. Only lost 1 early there on the Dorito side of the field.
Well, it's, you know, we had a really nice morning. We had a lot of cloud cover and, you know, not much heat. It's supposed to be around 84, 85 today, and it's definitely heated up this afternoon. So
I feel it.
You know, and what does that mean? It means more bounces. The more humidity, the hotter it is, the more the paintballs are going to be bouncing.
Paintballs don't like the moistness.
So we're in the pits right now as this game is all tied up here with Uprising.
Yeah, good. I mean, this is a really good test for Uprising. Obviously, Infamous is a super strong team. 3-3 and a couple of little mistakes that last match, but other than that, it's been a really good match for them.
Yeah, Uprising, you know, ranked 9th place, you can see there after 4 events, and every event getting better and better, improving their position. They have not gone down, they've only gone up in their in the placings. And so right now they have an opportunity to try to squeak a win out against a pretty strong Infamous squad.
Yeah, I like
fatigue is definitely starting to set in here.
I like Infamous Travis airing out Thomas there. you know, a lot of people kind of slow rolling that snake, but every 3 or 4 points, if you can sneak a body in there, it gives you a big advantage early.
You know, he caught a lucky bounce, but that's part of the game.
That's right.
And, you know, I talked to Thomas a couple, I think it was day before the event, and we talked about this field, and I said, hey, man, I think this could be a really good snake layout for you. With all the veteran experience you have on working with something just like this, so obviously not his first or fifth or 10th or 20th time here doing this. You know, he's been playing pro paintball since 2002, so, and sure enough, man, Thomas Taylor so far is definitely having a tournament. He's getting old, man. Three kids, and, right?
And counting.
One on the way.
And counting.
Yeah.
And not one of them named after either one of us.
I know, man.
No respect.
Thomas.
No respect. I think it's Tiffany.
So let's listen to the pitch right now here with Uprising.
All right, Uprising. Minute 10. Minute 10.
I feel like Uprising should feel good about how well they're playing. They just need to go out and execute this next point.
Minute till the match.
Looks like they're going to get one of the new guys on the team. Freak, going to get him a spin. Looks like Alex Gray is going to be getting a spin too. So they're bringing in some fresh legs for this one.
They must have a lot of confidence in those guys because this is a really big point. Shout out to Tommy Tucker there walking on the field. Heart and soul of Thunder. Infamous is walking out, taking the field.
30 seconds.
Got 30 seconds to go.
So they
started this last one.
Yeah, they aired their legs out on snake side this time. What do you think? Infamous is going to go hard Doritos, hard double up the gut, hard snake, or just a traditional pocket?
With Infamous, I don't know, man. It's tough to call right now. We got ourselves a tie game. With the fresh legs coming in, I bet you Uprising is about to air it out. I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if they sent Alex Gray to the snake off the break.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it looks like they're going to choose to go wide, actually. So Uprising going wide, and then on the delay, taking some ground. And, yeah, not a conservative breakout from Infamous, but they also get wide and send a body up to that center 50. So relatively aggressive breakout here from Infamous. Just 36 seconds left to go. And since we have a 5-on-5 breakout, what does that mean? It means a slower point, which means
overtime.
We're probably going to see our second overtime point. Unless something drastic happens.
Unless somebody makes a mistake and gets a penalty. They're trying to get the Infamous player out of the wall, and he's not going. He's going now.
It's Cody, and if that was a Cody, he did a smart job. I thought he was going to argue with the ref for a second. It's like, hey, dude, it's under 20 seconds, man. Like, this is when you need to not get a penalty. Just run off.
Yeah, at this point, there's only 10 seconds left. Neither one of these teams are looking to do anything wild. They're just going to grind it out.
Uprising does have a two-body advantage, but they just don't have any time to work with. And actually, there goes another one. Schrader's going to try to make something happen, but he runs into a gun.
I like that, though. At least trying to go win the game.
So we are going to be heading to our second overtime match of the tournament thus far. The last one was another Seattle Uprising game when they played against San Antonio X-Factor.
So they've got experience.
They do. Unfortunately for Uprising, they did lose that match.
So they got bad experience.
Well, the difference between bad and good experience is just the elapsed time between that certain event that happened, right?
Yeah, or perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to be critical, but it seems like the referees on this side of the field are doing a much better job of cleaning the bunkers than the referees on this side of the field.
Going out on a limb.
I'm not going to be too critical. Those bunkers are super yellow. Those are red.
So we're following the boys of Uprising here. We're in the pits. Let's listen in. They're about to play their second overtime point here at the World Cup.
They look pretty loose. They don't look real stressed out, smiling. There's a confidence. I like that.
A minute to go, Uprising. Minute to go, Uprising.
They definitely look confident.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to see a little more of. I'm trying to listen. I just want to listen in a little bit here to see if we hear discussion about angles, lanes, tactics, all that sort of stuff.
I'm hoping they did that before we started watching it, because you're right, they haven't talked any strategy at all.
When you notice Dynasty, when they're playing well, or you notice Impact is the best at it. Impact is always talking about what's happening out there. Win, lose the point, it does not matter.
And that's one of the things I try to communicate to the younger guys coming up is those guys, it's like having 12 coaches on the team, because they have all these really in-depth conversation about what's going on, how the game is changing based on how everyone's learning the field and what's working, what's not working for teams.
Somebody may say, well, maybe they got it figured out yet. There's no such thing.
No, it's constant. It's just like golf, man. It's every time you go out, it's hard, and every time he goes out, you got to figure it out, man. Every time. Every time it's different. Every field layout, everything.
Take this overtime match. We have to take this.
And you know Travis is talking strategy right there. Yeah. Talking angles and looking at players.
Hey, have every gun ready with paint.
They don't look as light, though. Infamous looks like they're a little more constipated, possibly. Somebody needs to go out at this point and be a superstar, win this game for the team. Or the team has to go out and play like a team and win the point.
Romeo heading out. Uprising definitely running mostly with the same. You know what? With only 38 seconds, that last one,
yeah,
you could say, hey, it's a risk. We're going to send some of our younger guys, our less experienced guys out to play this next point. That could cost us.
Yep.
But if they can hold on, take us to overtime, and now gets fresh legs out, it gets my starters.
Well, and it helps build that team, right? Being able to rely on those guys. Like, listen, we're really putting a lot of trust and a lot of faith in you guys. We're putting you in there. We're not expecting you to kill everybody. Just don't make a mistake. Don't get a penalty. And that's how you kind of build those guys into be the players that you need to be.
Because at some point, you got to take the training wheels
off.
And
yeah, right? At some point, you're going to rely on those guys, and they have to be able to produce, and you need to know who can produce and who can't.
Heavy guns up for Uprising on the break, and it pays dividends as they get at least one kill. Looks like just one, so
Damian Ryan gets shot on the break going up the gut.
But then this is the risk. When you go heavy guns, you still got to get up the field and outside.
Yep.
And Uprising trades out
4-on-4
with Olsen. So
Uprising make the first move towards the snake now, though.
Uprising definitely playing the aggressor here, which they've kind of been doing all game long.
Both teams in the snake now.
Not by much, though. I don't want to say that Infamous is definitely playing aggressive as well, too.
Yep. I mean, anybody out here who likes to play paintball, given the opportunity, they're going to go forward and smash people.
Well, we've seen some good points from a lot of guys on both these squads, which is why we're sitting in an overtime point that's locked up at 3.
And with 4 bodies each in almost the exact same positions of the field. In fact, they are all in the exact same positions. Snake 1, snake corner, center can, and Dorito 1. Oh, 50 snake now for Infamous with Thomas Taylor moving up.
Yeah, it's not quite at the 50, but he's getting there. He's at snake 3.
He's 50 at jump. He's close. He's really working hard on that center can, the home guy trying to get a shot in on his pack. Well, and Nate's trying to find out where Thomas is in the snakes to see if he can go get him.
This is that situation that the first guy to get a kill right now, or the first guy to die. Yeah, and you're going to be the hero of the GOAT right now in this situation.
Yep, and no one on the drill side is watching inside of Thomas. So if Nate figures that out, he can go highway, get Thomas, and come right back in and stay alive in the Infamous side of the snake.
Well, both back players are doing a real good job of watching over their front players right now as they are engaging in a gunfight, trying to win that, and do the best job of being able to watch over their player. Infamous with their stand-up in the center, looking D side. Their player in D2, he's also just focused D side. Now on the flip it up, and on Uprising side of the field, their D2 player is looking at Thomas. So a little bit more paint is coming towards Thomas, but Thomas is still clocking in, man. I mean, he's definitely having to deal with a little bit of pressure, but he is still shooting lanes. That way he's not just hiding. Nate's hanging out a little bit more. He's in snake 1. So
well, Thomas is drawing 2 guns. He's got the guy in the Dorito on him. He's got the guy in the snake corner, and the guy in the tower switching back and forth. So sometimes you got 2 or 3 guns on him, and even if you're not moving forward, if you got 2 or 3 guns on you, it takes the pressure off the other guys on your team, and that allowed him, Drewby, to go from Dorito 3 to Dorito 4. Unfortunately, makes a bad decision, gets caught on his first gunfight.
So there's that kill we talked about. Drew Templeton coming off. It's now a 4-on-3 situation. Thomas Taylor had cut to the inside. He's now a little off of snake 3, right at the 50-yard line now.
He's playing defensively. He's trying to get Nate to come around and crawl into their side of it and catch him, but I think Nate's going to go highway and get him. And then Nate goes highway, but completely misses Thomas. Didn't know where he was and didn't drop the hammer.
Comes right back into his spot, so more craftiness from the veteran Thomas Taylor.
Nate with the right move, just really poor execution. 3-on-3 now, Infamous with a 3-on-3 advantage because they do also have Thomas in that 50.
So I think Thomas just got bounced in the head. But bounces don't count, so he's still alive.
Getting bounced is almost like not getting shot.
Just hurts a lot.
Yeah, sure does. Got a bunch of mushy spots in my head from that.
Yeah, but
Uprising now into that 40-yard Dorito on the other side of the field.
Romeo makes a good move and stays alive into D4. Now he's looking straight ahead of him, And because Drew Templeton got shot, the only guy that he's really worried about is the tower.
Yeah. Or Thomas shooting cross from their snake right here.
Yeah, so, and Thomas is going to have the opportunity to get this cross-field shot right now. If Thomas comes up and knows that angle, which I know he does, and has the right communication, he's going to be able to get a cross-field shot. And there he goes. Finally comes across, and he is able to get that kill.
Wow, first couple balls were perfect.
Thomas is just putting a clinic on out here today.
Look at Travis clapping on that side. He's real happy with Thomas right now.
Oh, look at this, though. Olsevik comes down and runs Thomas Taylor down. However,
2-on-1.
Doing a great job of protecting Thomas was Trevor Reeser. So beautiful job by Reeser doing what he's supposed to do, which is watch over Thomas Taylor. Yeah, Thomas had to wear a couple just because Olsen ran him the right route.
40 seconds left. 2-on-1 situation. Infamous has to get this win.
Oh, yeah, because that other body came off, too. So right now, here, and we might... Oh, and look at that, Trevor Reeser. And he plays the hero. So nice job by Trevor Reeser. And Thomas Taylor, and there's another body left alive over there for Infamous as well. Wow.
Infamous digging deep that last point.
Do the barrel drag. Come on, Trevor.
It's coming.
There it comes. With the execution, Trevor Reeser.
I mean,
beautiful job.
I don't mean to sound old, but that's got to be bad for your barrel, right?
Yeah. Hey, he's sponsored, man. He needs as many barrels as he
get
wants.
Another one. Yeah. I used to have a buddy that worked at Dye that would give me the custom hotness barrels. Amazing.
All right, so congratulations in another overtime loss for Uprising and a victory here for Infamous. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, I'm here with Archie Montemayor. Congratulations on a great first day here at World Cup. It's not surprising, though, that X Factor came out and did well on their first day in the prelims. You guys pretty much always make it to Sunday. You're a super consistent, solid team. It's making it past those, really the semis for you guys to get into that finals match. So, I mean, coming into World Cup, this is really the only tournament you need to win all year. You get that first place win. What are some of the things that you think have affected you guys in those semi matches that have stopped you from getting to that first, second place match?
You know, honestly, it's a really simple thing, and it's trying to win a point instead of trying to win the match. Several semifinals games, we've been a bodies up situation and also points up, and instead of playing the situation, you know, like maybe Impact will do, is just sit back and wait and hide. You know, we still feel like we want to win more points, right? But you know, again, we don't necessarily have to win the point. If we're burning time and we don't allow them to come back, that's all we have to do, you know? And so sometimes we lose some bodies up situations when we're already winning the match, and that obviously can give teams more chances. So that's something we've really been focusing on, and we've actually had a couple points today, you know, even against Uprising, where they came back and we were able to put away the overtime point, and against Aftershock there was one point where we're up bodies and up points, and you know, we just said, hey, we're good. All we have to do is sit here. They have to come, you know. So it sounds so simple, but literally trying to win the match and not the point. And so far, it's working out in our favor. And hopefully, we can kind of keep learning and keep figuring that out.
Yeah, you mentioned Uprising. They just had their second overtime point. We were listening to it. They've been fighting so hard. I feel bad they didn't get one of those overtime wins. But you also mentioned Impact, and they're a team, like you said, that sits back and hides and waits for their moves. But they struggled in their first match, and we're kind of noticing that this field layout is better for aggressive teams, the teams that are more on the offense. Do you agree with that, or what do you notice?
I do agree. I think that, oddly enough, I think it's playing slower here than it did at practice. You know, and you know, I didn't really get to watch the game so much. I do know that the Ironmen were playing good. I saw a couple points.
Yeah, they were.
They were talking, communicating, had the zones right, and Impact was just getting shot out early. So that's not traditionally them, but I can't really take anything away from the Ironmen because they played a solid game.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I didn't necessarily see how fast or aggressive Impact was trying to play, but I do agree this field can tend to give the advantage to the aggressive team. But that being said, at practice it was just like all out, running down the field, and it's definitely playing a little bit slower now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see what happens. But congratulations to you guys for winning your first two matches here on the first day at World Cup. Stay tuned. We will have Impact coming up versus Boom and Ironmen versus Outlaws. We'll see if Ironmen can keep this win streak going.
My name is Kenny Shell. I own and operate Paintball Asylum and Asylum Extreme Sports in Louisville, Kentucky. Paintball Asylum started in 2000. We grew to what we are here today that I've modeled over a lot of other paintball parks all over the world. Paintball Asylum Paintball Park is 43 acres. We have 2 artificial turf fields. We have about 30 acres of woods courses that have scenario, castle fields. We have an urban course that has a city village, has roads, cars, Connex boxes. Paintball Asylum attracts from the first player all the way to the professional player. I think what draws most paintball players to our park is some of the amenities we have. We have 2 artificial turf fields. The latest layout is up, fresh new bunker sets, air in the pits. Everything is just set up for the player to be able to come in, play some good paintball efficiently, and be able to go home. Here in Louisville, we can draw teams from all the way from the north, Indiana, Chicago, South, Tennessee, even Ohio. I think it's what we offer, plus how centrally located we are. Tournament paintball we have here is the MSXL, Mid-South X-Ball League. Host at least 2 events, sometimes 3 events here every year. There was one season, almost every event was here, and that's because the players want to play here. They love playing here. Our pro shop stocks the latest and greatest in all paintball merchandise. Primarily, we are a GI sports field that has all the GI products being Tipman, V-Force, Empire. We always try to have what the player wants. The Paintball Asylum, it wasn't one thing that made us successful. We was the first paintball field to ever introduce paintball into the hunt. And a lot of other paintball fields saw success or heard of our success with that, and they did that as well. It wasn't just a paintball field. It was just a place where people came to have fun, an entertainment platform. Paintball Asylum has several pages and several social media platforms. So if you want to learn anything about Paintball Asylum, we have something there about it.
There is very little that can be said about Emmett's impact that has not been said already. This team has dominated the NXL and is the team to beat. Of the last 13 national events played, Impact has been in the finals 11 times, winning 6 of those 11 events. In 2017, Impact has been in the finals 3 of the 4 events, winning 1. The only chink in the armor this season has been when the team failed to make the finals in Atlantic City, where they took 4th. Impact is a complete team through and through. A well-oiled machine with Captain Bart Yekmek at the helm and first mate Dave Baines running the crew. Each member of Impact has stepped up when needed, and each has played their part in making Impact the #1 team in the world. Green Bay Boom are sitting in 14th place overall in the 2017 NXL Pro Division. The men from Boom are still wrestling with their distinctiveness in the pros. With one of the smaller squads in the league, they have persevered and won some big games against some big teams, but as of yet this 2017 season have not found the consistency that they or their team captain, Chris Jansen, would like. Boom has only made 1 Sunday in their 4 seasons in the professional division. At the bottom of the series in 14th place, the team is on the edge of relegation pending a decent outcome at the 2017 NXL World Cup. If Boom hopes to place high at the final event of the season, they must rid themselves of their mistakes and latch on to each point as if it were their last. The Los Angeles Ironmen are a legendary team that have struggled the last few seasons in the NXL. This 2017 started off with very high expectations but yielded unacceptable results. With a roster of very capable and talented players, the Ironmen can never get things right or going in their favor. From penalties to downright bad play, the team has been fighting both on the field and off it to reform their status. Coach Todd Martinez never holds back his feelings, and that is always evident when we turn our attention to him and the team in the pits. He has been pushing the team to lead by example on the field. If you say you're going to do something, go out there and get it done. Off this reckoning, the team has made some headway and made Sunday for the first time in 2 years in Chicago. One final event lies ahead of the Ironmen and their bid for World Cup. The Trade My Gun Outlaws have a great story. Built up out of the Midwest, they took to the pro circuit in 2015 after a dominating 2014 in Division 1. The Pro Division has been a challenge for the team, and last year in 2016 they were almost relegated as they finished in last place. The team renewed their road for the 2017 NXL season with great intensity. It was clear to most right away that the team was not messing around, and they quickly became one of the most aggressive teams off the break in any game they played. They took a personal best in Dallas, finishing 6th. A mid-season hump would soon take its toll on TMG, as they would not seem to find their footing in the NXL Atlantic City or Chicago events. Currently sitting in 11th place in the series, Trade My Gun has one final chance in the 2017 season to show the world how they can play. Will they play as they did at the start of the season, or will they falter?
We are back. 2017 NXL World Cup. I'm Matty Marshall, Rich Telford. One set remains here in Friday's competition. This match is brought to you by GI Sports. And right now, Edmonton Impact is taking on Boom, Los Angeles Ironmen, and they're going to be taking on the Outlaws. And so, Rich, we finally saw the Ironmen emerge. Obviously, yes, at the last event, as you guys heard in the breakdown there, the Ironmen did make Sunday at the last event. It looked a lot better.
Much better.
Still real hit or miss, though, for the Los Angeles Ironmen at the last event. The first game they played against Edmonton Impact, they looked outstanding.
They did.
And Impact looked really flat. So we're going to have to see if Edmonton Impact is going to rise to the challenge here at the World Cup.
Unfortunately, I think Boom might end up paying kind of for Impact's lack of performance in the first match. I feel like Impact's going to have to come out here with something to prove in the second match, and it might be more challenging than usual for Boom.
Well, that's why we're here, right? That's the whole point. I mean, if you want to be a pro paintball player, then you better get ready to play teams like Impact on a regular basis.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be a big test for Green Bay Boom. We'll see what they are made of here as trying to improve their performance. You can see there on your screen all the results from today's performances, and just 2 games remain. Impact versus Boom, and the Ironmen versus the Outlaws. So, you know, talking about the Outlaws, they won their first game against Boom. It was a pretty close match. Boom threw a lot of those points away. They got way too many points. Yeah, just way too many penalties, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Outlaws weren't playing poorly, but Boom just lost opportunity after lost opportunity.
Yeah, again, Outlaws not playing bad at all. They played well, but they, you know, even though some points should have went Boom's way, and Boom shot themselves in the proverbial foot by getting those major. I think they got 2 majors, 2 minors,
1 minor, yeah,
something like that. It was basically too many penalties.
Definitely too many.
Yeah, you can get a penalty here or there. Hey, penalties are going to come.
Well,
it's going to happen.
Playing really, really well, it doesn't matter if you get a penalty here or there. If you're struggling a little bit and you get a penalty, it's just pushing that rock uphill.
Still, though, I liked the fight at a Boom, so I expect them to put up a pretty good fight here against Edmonton Impact. You never know what's going to happen out here. And then the Outlaws, if the Ironmen somehow come into this one and go to sleep on the Outlaws, they could very well get beat up by the Outlaws. Hopefully, if you're an Ironman fan out there, you expect them to come out in this game with the Outlaws as tenacious as they were against Edmonton Impact. We can see here in the pits with the Ironmen, and I thought across the board they played pretty well, man. They had some standout performances from a lot of different guys, but I was very proud of Scott Kemp.
Yep.
Scott Kemp was playing the one pretty much on the snake side of the field, and that goes back to when we first picked Scott Kemp up on
I remember him blowing his knee out at World Cup about 8 years ago or whatever, thinking, oh my God, that kid's so talented, and he just blew his knee out.
That was more like 12 years ago, bro.
Yeah, could have been 20 for me. I don't know.
It all starts to blend together.
What I think is going to be interesting to see is to see if Impact shows Boom the same amount of respect that they showed Ironman and kind of hold back, or nope, they go snake on the break, and I kind of thought that's what's going to happen. I like Boom coming right through on the break, clearing out the wall.
And then Boom on the delay goes right back up to the wall. So they very aggressive breaking here.
And shoots the snake player.
So that
shoots mouse at the snake there.
So 2 bodies now coming off here early for Edmonton Impact, just trading 1 body on Boom. I actually did Boom. I'm looking across as we were watching that chaos, and I don't see anybody on Boom.
Yeah, the Dorito right behind the wall.
I see those
guys. And then
guys.
the tower and the Dorito as well, but I don't see anybody on the snake side.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
But more bodies are coming off for Impact.
I think it's 2-on-2.
What a crazy point. I don't think there's any
3-on-2.
Yeah, so there's definitely 3 bodies
for Boom.
Maybe 4 bodies left alive for Boom. As there goes a move from, that's JC.
Yeah, he shot him going up, so JC went forward and shot the wall on the move. Really impressive.
Well, JC needs to have a good game here because he was getting stopped in that last game against the Ironman.
Yeah.
So,
well, and what I like that Boom did is when the first guy went through and cleaned the wall out, the second guy immediately filled it. He didn't perform well once he did it, but like we said earlier, he's doing the right thing. You know, he sees that wall, boom, now another Boom player gets shot. 2-on-1 situation.
This is miscommunication in that chaos, and we've seen it all day. We're going to see it all day tomorrow, most likely. I'm sure that communication is going to get tighter as the tournament progresses. It normally does. And look at this, JC is now running forward, trying to steal this point away from Boom.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a nice shot there. And so JC saving this point. He does trade out.
See, and again, we talked about that earlier about the 2-on-1 situation. Going forward, instead of trying to be sneaky, just go forward and drop the hammer, leave your guy in either a 1-on-1 or 1-on-none. I thought it was only one player left for Boom.
Well, it's a lot of chaos out there, obviously, in that point, and we were having a hard time counting the bodies because they were dropping so fast.
Yep.
And the players out there having an equally or worse of a hard time because
they can't see quite as well as and no one's shooting at us.
Yeah, and the shadows are growing long out there, so that could potentially be a factor as well. As
so Impact takes that first point, but it wasn't like textbook. It was pretty sloppy. Ended up with just one body left alive.
Well, what you don't want to happen, I mean, hey, you're happy when it does because you did put the point on the board, but you don't want to leave it up to 1 or 2 guys to have to pull the point, out of the brink of disaster.
Yeah, you don't want to get lucky and win. And when you get down to a 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, that's, one little mistake ends up costing you big time. Here we go, Iron Man and Trade My Gun. Trade My Gun with 3 shooters out of the back. 1 snake side, 1 Dorito. Iron Man spreading the field, taking the snake corner, tall cake from behind the snake, the Dorito tower, and the home position. Both teams with 5 players alive. Looks like Trade My Gun is going to be the first team that tries to get up to that center wall. There he goes. Gets in there clean. Guns up on the snake side through the window.
Well, the one thing we know that the Outlaws are going to do is they're going to push the issue. Outlaws don't hide in the back.
I like that.
I've never seen a game where the Outlaws were hiding in the back. It's not going to happen. And they're going to be sending guys up the center. We saw Krover get it done up there. We got another body up there right now. I think that's Berkeley.
A guy named Shane Pastana used to say, if you're going to die, die going forward. And I believe it 1,000%.
So right now, better field position here for the Outlaws. And see what the Ironmen are made of here at the World Cup is, again, underperformed all year long. They did make Sunday, though, at the last event. And they did beat Impact, so they looked good doing it.
Impact just dropped the body.
Greg Seward.
Sorry, Iron Man just dropped the body, filling that from Drill 2 to Drill 3. It just got caught. So, Matty, the style of paintball has changed dramatically over the years from a kind of a fast, aggressive sport to a slower, more methodical sport. Would you agree with that?
Depending on the layout, I would. I would say it just depends. We could sit and argue, and all of us have, as to the magnitude of that change.
Yeah.
But different layouts dictate the pace of the game. And
to some extent, I've seen a big change over the last 5 to 7 years where even on 3-on-1 or 2-on-1 situations, the guys just sit there and try to dink the guy out instead of dropping the hammer.
Well, it could be the guns. The guns are not shooting as fast.
For sure. And the players are all better.
The players are definitely better.
So making mistakes, you pay for those mistakes a lot more.
But still, right now, that was a nice bump over by Scott Kemp.
Yeah.
Through a gun.
Playing really well.
Yeah, Scott Kemp continuing to play well here.
And just wrapping the pressure on the home guy for Trade My Gun is forcing him to live all the way on the Dorito side of the bunker. So if anybody can get on the Dorito side of the field and for the Ironman and also apply some pressure, that guy's going to die.
So right now, we'll see if Scotty can get it done in here. He's the only player in the stake for either team. Looks like Bobby Aviles is up in the wall for the Ironman.
Yeah, looking to the Dorito side of the field. Trying to shut down any forward progress. But Trade My Gun goes right through and gets him because no one was watching him. Scotty Kemp is now going to come up and see there's a guy on his side of the field and make him pay for it. But not before Bobby was killed. So Bobby's got to have somebody watching his back. Ironman have 2 here on the snake side, and one of them could have had a gun up to protect Bobby. Trade My Gun is now worked into the 40 Dorito for the Ironman.
Yeah,
it's putting pressure on Bobby and the back Dorito, the back snake player for Ironman.
They're on the Ironman side of the field, and that makes Scott Kemp have to focus his gun. That way he's going to now check off on the lane.
Oh, he finally got caught. got caught all the way across the field from that 40 Dorito.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough position there for Scotty.
Yeah, it's kind of like we said earlier. If they're trying to bounce a shot into you, you just got to get out of there.
Well, they couldn't get any kills. There's still 4 bodies out there for the Outlaws, and they were pressing the issue on that D side with 2 guys. They had another body in the center with Berkeley, and the Ironman lost 2 bodies behind Scott. Scott really having to do damage control, but there he is. Let's listen to
these guys just want to sit and shoot. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we did a textbook. You taught me. No, I'm not saying. Who wants to sit and shoot just brought the game to you. The way we won against Impact, we took the game to them.
Well, I completely disagree. In no way, shape, or form did the Outlaws just sit there and shoot. I mean, they were past the Ironman side, on the Ironman side of the field, on the D side, with 2 bodies real close to each other. They also attacked the center. I couldn't disagree more.
I will never disagree with Billy Wing, but I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Billy was agreeing with Bobby. He was saying, well, if they're going to do that, we still have to play our game. But they weren't doing that. That was not what happened in that first point.
Boom trying to go snake on the 1, taking the risk, but not getting the reward, getting shot out. Secondaring to the second bunker right behind him is second Boom player in.
Yeah, so Wank tried to extend there off the break. Bold play call for Boom. It does not pay dividends for them. They are now down a body, and Impact up by 1 here early on, and also up by a body.
Yeah, longer, slower points on the Boom Impact match. Is that Rainey? Rainey goes from the back line, fills right into Snake 1. Impact with 4 guns up, 3 on the Drio side, 2 here on the Snake side, 5 bodies left alive. Boom's down to 1 player that they lost on the break. Haven't made any secondary moves from their original bunkers. Probably need to start working on either getting outside or going forward through the gut. If Impact gets another player up on the, now they've got 2 up on the 50, and it's going to get real hard to move out of that back line for the Boom guys. Boom loses a player on the Dorito side of the field. Only 3 Boom players left alive now. They've got the center can, who just gets eliminated, a Snake player, and the Dorito tower. Snake player's looking inside, gets a G on the Impact side of the field out of the back Dorito there. It looks like it was maybe Justin Cornell.
Yeah, so Justin Cornell, he takes the walk. They still have Nick Laval in the center, and they got a body past the 50 here in the Snake as well, too. Keith Brown behind him.
3 on 2. Boom with 2, Impact with 3.
Is that Mouse or Rainey? I think it's Rainey.
Yeah, I thought it was Rainey that filled it. And Rainey gets the G on Snake.
Yeah, so Rainey Stanzik doing a good job of getting penetration here for Impact. Laval staying alive in that center, then Laval getting shot by his own guys as he tries to make his way up the field. It doesn't matter as the point is conceded by Boom, so that's now 2 points on the board for Edmonton Impact. So before we get to this next point, let's check down with the 4th member of our broadcast team, Lauren Kelly. Lauren, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, in the Ironman pit, Bobby Avila says they know that Outlaws just want to come out, sit in their bunkers and shoot. But Billy Wing said, yeah, well, you just let the team that just wants to sit in their bunkers and shoot bring the game to you. Billy said he wants them to return to the aggression that they showed in that Impact game. Just because it's Outlaws and it's an underdog team doesn't mean that they should take their foot off the gas. Back to you.
I couldn't agree with that more.
I agree with Billy. I could not disagree more with what Bobby's saying. I mean, Bobby, come on, man. You're a veteran. You got to scout the teams you're playing. The Outlaws are not known for sitting in their bunkers and hiding. They're an attack team. They make too many mistakes doing that.
Maybe he was testing everybody, right?
That's
maybe he was frustrated.
I just shake my head in frustration at that, because if that to me is no. I'm sorry. That's not how the Outlaws play. That's not how they played that point. And not having the correct information on your opponent is the way you lose games.
Yep.
So we'll see though. Right now, Outlaws up by 1, and we got just getting things rolling here in this last set of the day.
Yeah, even breakout. Both teams 5 alive. Ironman's got 1 up in the wall. Looks like maybe Keith DeVitt. Trade My Gun loses the first player out of that Snake corner, which is going to make him really light on this side of the field. The center guy fills over. Now they've got 1 on the Snake side of the field, but there's only 1 player for Trade My Gun on the whole Snake side of the field, and there's 2 Ironmen that really want to kill him bad.
So both teams with that body up in the center. Keith DeVitt ran up there off the break, and on a delay, Outlaws are able to get their body up there. Keith DeVitt trying to call a kill, though, from that center.
Yeah, he's trying to pull a guy out of the center camp, but there's nobody there. He's already eliminated.
Yeah, they did get 1 already, and there comes the aggressive push here from the Outlaws.
Yeah, and I would have liked to have seen Keith made that move and gone and gotten the Outlaw guy, because they were a body up.
But nice job by on the counterpunch there from Bobby. Bobby Aviles gets in there. Might have caught one. The referee, he checked himself. Now the referee is going to get in there and check him. Also, Meter Ninos did a good job of refilling that, or filling into the snake when that chaos set in. Bobby Aviles is clean. Referee went and checked him out.
Yeah,
and so
Outlaw's down to just one player. Yeah, now he's been 11.
Ironman looked like they're rolling here. I love
one snake corner player left.
This is a read and react field, man, and I really like the counterpunch right there that we just saw from the Ironman. Good job by Bobby. So I like I said, I disagreed with his scouting assessment of the Outlaws, but he's, his play out there. He had a great first game. This is a good point.
Well, I think a lot of points are going to be won not necessarily by the first guy that goes to the wall, but the second or third guy that goes to the wall.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a counterpunch field, and because there's so much chaos, but we've just seen nothing but bodies come off all over the place, and guys have to reposition, and you see that on every field, but sometimes more than others. And this one there's a lot of that happening out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting field. In a lot of ways, it plays like two separate fields. The Doritos and the snakes are kind of isolated, but also with the wall being shifted over, there's just a ton of variables in the middle.
So there's Meter Ninos doing a good job on the snake, and let's listen in.
Looking fucking snakes. 30 seconds.
See Rocky Cagnoni in there working on the guns for the Ironman. Todd Martinez coaching. Teeth DeVitt talking about the wall.
Well, that was a good comeback point for the Ironman, and that's what Boom needs right now against Impact. Down by 2. 12:32 to go.
Yep.
And aggressively pushing in the center is Boom, able to make it there before Impact. Impact on the delay.
Yeah, with pocket play, 2 at home, 1 in the Dorito, 1 in the cake on the snake side, and 1 delaying to the wall there. Absolutely no risk on the break, and still able to transition to the 30 Dorito over there. Impact's now got a guy in the center 50 and the 30 Dorito. Boom loses their first guy from the center wall.
Well, Zane comes through and does something we haven't seen yet. He shoots out the player at the wall and then goes to their Dorito. He didn't end up dying. He just died right now. Still was a cool move. And look at all of this. Just a sea of red bodies.
Walking off.
Sea of red walking off, like you said. And it looks like Impact's going to cruise, put that third point on the board.
Yeah, I think they're just going to take a second just to make sure 5 guys walked off, because 3 of them walked off so close together.
And Boom forced to concede that point. So, like you said, there's a decent chance that Boom is going to wear a bunch of welts because of the loss that Impact took to the Ironman.
For sure.
I can't remember the last time that Impact went 0-2 on the first day. So let's check in again with Lauren.
Thanks. During their last point, the Outlaws said they were having problems figuring out where the Ironmen were on the field. They said nobody had the snake call, so they had no idea where the Ironmen players were in the snake. Going into this point, they're focusing on that visibility, that communication, to make sure they can work together on the field and get this next point. Back to you.
Well, no surprise there, because like we had just talked about that, and almost every team at some point in the game has had a problem with communication.
Yeah, you're going to lose bodies out here. Yeah, with my guys on the bandits, I just said, if you got 2 on one tape and you got 2 on the other, just assume that wall's hot. 2 trade my gun guys walking out early on this point. One from now a third on the snake side.
And the Ironman only lose Keith DeVitt trying to attempt to get to the center wall off the break.
Yeah.
Greg Sewers glides into D2, and now the Ironmen are also pushing up here on the snake side of the field.
Trade my gun losing another body.
So Alan Golding now able to get into Snake 1, and Outlaws just barely any bodies left alive for them.
Just struggling, yeah. Yeah, once they lost that first guy, 2 more quick G's fell out. Player from the home fell the first temple, now he's filling the second temple. 1-on-1, almost 11 minutes left in the game, 1-1. Ironman with at least 2 or 3 bodies left alive. Oh, I see Bobby Villa walking out. Trade my gun going from the corner into the snake. Oh, he gets caught. Made a good move, got caught. Ironman calling G4, G5, just trying to figure out if they're all dead, if there's one more hiding. Ironman still with 3 bodies left alive. Much better point for them.
Yes, after that first point that they lost, the Ironmen have looked real sharp. That last point was great. This was a great point for them. They had the off-the-break shooting down. Once those bodies dropped, they realized that they had a big advantage, and they made the most of it. So looking real crisp and sharp out here, Los Angeles Ironmen, in the first day of the World Cup.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years.
Well, they have been here for years, and they do need a comeback, because it has not been the best year for the past years, plural, for the Ironmen. You know, like we listened to in the breakdown at the outset of this match, until they made Sunday at the last event, they hadn't made a Sunday in 2 years.
When I heard that last match, last event, honestly, it broke my heart a little bit.
I shot right through the window and then just faded out.
Back to the pits with this resurgent Ironman squad. Coach Todd Martinez.
That could have been a real good eye-opener for them, too, though, you know. They're playing much better this event. It's easy to get complacent when you've been doing what you're doing for a long time. Impact taking snake one on the break. It looks like Rainey up to the wall. Looking snake thigh through the window. Boom with a very conservative breakout. 4 across the back, 5 across the back. In fact, all 5 back bunkers.
Keith Brown able to get himself into snake one, though. Ooh, he might have got clipped, and he did.
Yellow.
So tough death there for Keith Brown.
At the same time, Boom gets a penalty.
Yeah.
2 guys walk off, so Impact still left 1 body. Impact now with nobody on the snake side of the field, giving Boom an opportunity. If the Boom player on the snake side here can attack, he can go all the way down to the Boom snake and possibly get a G or 2 and definitely make it very challenging for Boom to move up that, Impact to move up that Dorito side of the field. But they got to capitalize. Someone's got to go.
Yeah, so Boom here, down a body, 10 minutes and 53 seconds left to go, and Impact has just been in complete control of this match.
Impact drops another body, though.
But Boom is starting to put themselves in a better position here, getting some kills, but
yeah.
Rainey is still up in that center.
Yeah, 3-on-3 situation here. Rainey in the wall, another Impact player there in Dorito 3, and 1 here on the snake side of the field. Boom's got all 3 guns on the Dorito side of the field, except for the back center's looking this way. But no one on this side of the field. In my opinion, that home guy probably needs to try to fill out this way and shore up the snake side a little bit. He's probably hesitant with Rainey up in the wall, making sure he doesn't get caught going out. But now the Impact player fills the snake and is crawling forward. He's going to put more and more pressure on the Dorito side of the field.
Nick LaBall down on his belly and crawling up, but he gets taken out. So
yeah, that must have been a bounce shot.
That was Mouse, actually. No, that was Nick LaBall. So Nick LaValle trying to get low.
Yeah, and Boom is putting themselves in a position to win this point, but only because they're sitting there shooting their guns. They're not going forward. They've shot both Impact guys, actually all 3 Impact guys, either on a transition or kind of going forward. Boom's got to switch gears now and play offensively. Just kind of sit back there. It's 3-on-2. They're down 3 points. They've got a 1-body advantage. They've got to figure out which one of these guys is the key guy. Go get him. Leaving themselves in a 2-on-1 and go get the other guy, and the last guy hangs the flag. Is that too much to ask?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Super easy when no one's shooting at you.
So these last players for Impact trying to isolate the last players for Boom.
And there goes Impact moving into the Boom side of the field, Dorito. So Boom still got all 3 of the guys on the Dorito that have started that game there. None of them ever left their primary bunkers. And Impact is continuing to go forward and attack because Boom's just sitting there not doing anything.
Well, Boom does have a 1-body advantage, but they're down 3.
Yeah, so they need to win this point.
Yeah, and they know that, though.
And they need to have as much time on the clock as possible after they win the point.
But the problem is that they're in kind of bad spots considering where Impact is.
Yeah.
So the fact that Cornell is on their side of the field and that Rainey is kind of going all over the place here in the center, utilizing a lot of that wall structure, it's kind of giving the illusion of there's more bodies than the 2 that are there.
But if you don't take any risks on the break and you don't take any real estate and you let the team push into your 40 and 50 before you've left your primary bunker, you're putting yourself in that situation. So now you've got to deal with the consequences. The clock is getting smaller and smaller, and that lead isn't changing any. 3 points. More and more times clicking off. This helps Impact, hurts Boom.
True, but
Boom's got the advantage.
Very true, but with that, when we started talking about this situation, it was like 9 minutes left.
Yeah.
So it's not disaster yet. And so I'm okay with them trying to not do anything crazy to work out of those spots. But yes, you are right on the long term. Yes, eventually with the 3 bodies against the 2, you got to figure it out. You got to find a way.
And as Impact continues to move down the field, it gets harder and harder for the Boom guys to get outside. They've missed many opportunities to get outside. Now it's hard.
But Impact hasn't been trying to move up. But based on this specific tactical layout right now with Cornell where he is, no one on Boom can go out because all JC is doing is waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm saying now it's probably too late. But when JC was in the tower or the Dorito 2 or the Dorito 4, before he got to Dorito 5, it would have been a good time to probably try to move.
Yeah, but that milk is spilt. They are in the spots that they're in now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So now you've got to, instead of sitting there and getting dinked out, I'd rather have them risk trying to spread the field and win the point.
Yeah, they were in definitely a tough spot. Now they're in a worse spot because now instead of having 3, having that extra gun,
It's
they lose that
2-on-1
gunfight, and now it's a 2-on-1 situation.
And like we said earlier, I'd rather have them lose, but try and do the right thing instead of just sitting there and hoping that they're, that Impact doesn't shoot them. Well, agree to disagree.
As we have done many times over the years.
Yeah. Jesus.
So
I hate arguing with people who are smarter than me. And it happens to me like almost every time I argue with somebody.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Mr. Telford. So 4 points right now on the board for Impact, and it's just not looking good for Boom here.
And Impact's playing good, but not as good as I've seen him play in the past.
Now there's some chinks in the armor.
Yeah, they're still having guys just walk out with, and it's a tricky field. I think we're gonna have that all weekend, where you're gonna have guys walking out with phantom shots or balance shots and stuff. But Impact is so polished, you just usually don't see that. So when you do see it, it kind of stands out.
Hey man, when you set the high watermark as high as Impact set it, we have a big expectation for them. They have a big expectation for themselves, and I don't think they'd be disagreeing with much, to be honest. I'm sure it's again with how much they expect out of the team, with the roster they have, the success they've seen the past 3 seasons. It's they need to play better. If they want to win this tournament, they have to play better than they are playing today. Even though the score is now 4-0 in this particular match with Boom. But this score right now in this match that we're seeing on this breakout, 2-1 is the score. And
Iron Man lose their first body going to that snake corner. 1 ball in the foot just on the last slide there. Leaving Iron Man kind of shy here on the snake side of the field. They've only got the 1 body, which I believe is Keith DeVitt in the center can shooting this way. It's a good opportunity for Trade My Gun to put Keith in and start boogieing down the snake side of the field. But again, you got to take the initiative. There's always going to be someone shooting at you. There's always going to be someone shooting a lane. You've got to find out when the lane switches or drops, or gunfight that guy and then go.
And here comes the push in the center with Al Fernandez, and he runs that guy down. Nice job by Al Fernandez.
Trade My Gun, fill that wall back up, but lose a player there on the Dorito side of the field.
But this is what the Outlaws do well. They filter bodies up. They're, like we said, they are not scared to attack. They will refill spots.
Good. 3-on-3. Similar field position. Both teams with 1 player on the snake side. Oh, and Iron Man lose another player on that snake corner now, down to 2 players. 1 up there in that 40 Dorito. I believe that's Greg Sewers. Gets a key kill on his tape now.
Yeah, that was Bobby that took the walk over here on the snake side. And, yeah, that is a good kill. There still is that body for the Outlaws up in the center.
Yeah, it looks like possibly a 1-on-1 situation with the Iron Man player in the stand-up tower on the Dorito side and the Trade My Gun Outlaws in the wall shooting on the right side of it. 1-on-1 situation, 1-point game, not a ton of time left. This game, this 1-on-1 could determine this match.
Well, I think that's Fred Berkeley in the center, and Berkeley would be my pick for who I would want on the field for the Outlaws in a 1-on-1 situation. It might not be Jeremy's pick, probably is, I'm not sure.
I'm going Shaq. Wait, do we get to choose anybody or just the guys on the roster?
Just the guys on the roster.
All right, you win.
Yeah, but again, the shadows are getting pretty long.
They are.
I think that is Berkeley. He is in a shadow currently. And there it is. I think that is Mike Paxton.
Paxtonian?
Yeah,
that's a battle. I would never want to try to battle with Paxton in 1-on-1. If I have 4 or 5 buddies, I'll take them out for sure. Oh, and Paxton catches one in the corner there.
So it was Fred Berkeley victorious in the 1-on-1.
Hustle in there, buddy. Or, walk it in. Either way.
Well, time, since it's tied now, is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So
I feel like if I got the momentum, I want to try to run it in, hammer that buzzer, and put some pressure.
So with the outstanding 1-on-1 victory there against Mike Paxton, it's going to be a tie ball game. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. I was going to give you guys an update on Boom, but I want to tell you Coach Todd Martinez was standing right behind me while that 1-on-1 was going on, and he was saying Fred Berkeley is so used to those 1-on-1 losses. Let's just give him another one. He was hoping that Paxton would stay out there even just a little bit longer to take some time off of the clock, but as you saw, that did end there pretty soon. Going into this next point, though, Boom is changing it up. They said they're going to change personnel. They're going to change their off-break strategy to try to see if they can find something to battle Impact and get a point on this board. Back to you.
Yeah, well, the issue with Boom is they don't have too many different guys to throw out there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like and it seems like the guys they have are really good, smart, kind of methodical back guy. 2/3s, not a bunch of 1/2s. A little more of a slower, more methodical team, it seems like. Impact right to the wall on the break, shooting Dorito side, second player, right up the gut behind him, looks like Nick in that can, shooting on the left side of the wall.
So good breakout for both teams. Haven't seen a body come off yet.
And different breakout for Impact. They've got 2 over here on the Snake side now. One in the 4, one in the 5, both in the corners on the Snake side. Those guys, and they get over the top, catch one of the Boom players. Now isolating only one Boom player on the Snake side of the field. If Impact can get that guy off the field, I would expect to see them filling from that corner with Mouse.
Well, and there goes another Boom player who's taking the early walk.
And that's the guy, I believe that was the guy stopping him there from the center bunker. The guy in the small bunker on the Snake doesn't have much of a shot to block either one of those guys out. But to see Mouse filling that up. Yeah, look at that. He's going to crawl all the way from the corner. You know why he can do that? Because he works out every day.
Boom filters the body over back to this Snake side of the field as the aggressive push is coming on that D side here for Edmonton Impact. And
poor Mouse.
Justin Rabikoff getting it done there as they doubled up the center, and Mouse crawled all that way for nothing.
Good cardio.
It looked
good
cool,
cardio.
though.
Yeah. I love 2 events ago when he was just flying down that Snake. He was the only guy that just kind of head down all the way to the other end, shoot a couple guys.
Yeah, he had a masterful day. Remember that one day he put up every point he played, his killed a
3 or 4 G's a kill.
No, it was like 2. It was over 2, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
if you get around 1, if you can have 1 kill, average 1 kill, confirmed kill per point that you play, that's kind of the level of excellence. It's like hitting 300 in baseball, or getting 2-3 sacks a game. He was doing that, and so that's what's possible with Mouse.
Yep.
So anytime you got Mouse on your team, you're hoping, oh man, I hope he has a really good tournament.
Yeah. Well, I like how he just, if there's no one on his side in the corner in the Snake, he goes all the way down. He doesn't give you 2 or 3 opportunities to shoot him going down the Snake. He gets to the end and gets as many kills as he can. Trade my gun, Ironman. Ironman dropped 1 at home on the break. Oh, 2. Both of them lose. Keith going up to the center of the field. Trade my guns with a big advantage right here. 2 body advantage.
Couple bodies, but they throw one away. Throw another one away, so they even it up. No, there goes another body.
3 on 2. 3 on 2. Ironman advantage.
No, I think it's a 3-on-2 advantage to the Outlaws.
Sorry, trade my gun. I apologize.
Yeah, so the Outlaws have 3 bodies there on your screen. Stand-up Temple, center stand-up Can, and D2. Only 2 bodies left alive for the Ironman. Looks like Ninos alive over here on the Snake side of the field. Ooh, that other body might be walking off. See another Ironman body walking off. I think it's just Meter.
That was real sloppy. Moose got lucky he didn't get caught there. He was standing up over the top, just kind of shooting down the lane, and the Trade My Gun guy just barely missed him. He was all the way over the top of the bunker, though. He would have felt rough, I think, if he had got on that one.
Actually, take the back. It's not Meter. It's Alan Golding. He just got clipped right there, but not really his fault. Nobody left alive but him.
Yeah.
Actually, no, there is 1 body left alive in Stand-Up Temple. No, was he? Again, the shadows and the glare is getting pretty bad here. Shadows are getting long, as this is the last set of the day.
That was a huge point, man.
That was a huge point for the Outlaws. Just kind of beating the Ironman right there in their bunkers. And let's check it again with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. Even though Impact has a 5-point lead against Boom right now, they're not taking any of these points lightly. And in between the points, they're digesting the previous point, really breaking down exactly what happened, how they executed each 1-2 punch across the field. They're using these points as opportunities to learn this field layout and make sure they know how it's playing here at World Cup when they come here for day 2 tomorrow. Back to you.
Yeah, still 2 more games for all these teams tomorrow on Saturday's competition, as we will find out the seeding in the 8 teams that will advance into the finals on Sunday. And then now, that's a crazy break to try to get
right to the 40,
yeah, to get
made it alive.
To get to D3 there from Edmonton Impact and Justin Cornell. But he ends up, he looked like he made it in clean, but then ended up getting shot out of there. He might have got clipped going in. So 4 players left alive right now for Edmonton Impact, 4 for Green Bay Boom.
Impact in the Snake, Keith Brown.
So Keith making his move past the Snake 3, gets right to the 50-yard line. Ooh,
catches a little heat over the top. Got lucky, didn't catch one, but they know he's there.
And he did finally get shot out. So
what do we call that?
What do we call that?
The death something, right?
Oh, yeah, funnel of death.
Funnel of death, that's right. He definitely he was susceptible to the funnel of death.
Yeah, you got to be real careful. You got to know where all those opponents are when you head into that 50-yard line in the Snake structure, because with all the angles that the balls can come in, there's a lot of bounce shots, and we haven't seen a lot of guys live for long once they start getting their bunker peppered and those lanes come in. And now Looks like Boom is trying to put their first point on the board here.
Yeah, it's
stop the bleeding.
It's one of those snakes where I think it really pays off to be kind of sneaky, so they don't know where you're at. Come up, get your guy, get back down, get to another spot, get your guy. But if they know where you're at and they throw paint either down the tape or from across the field, so many people are getting shot in the funnel of death there.
Yeah, I think that everyone that's playing the snake should probably go back and watch the tape on Thomas Taylor. I feel out of everyone I've seen play the snake today, out of every point, Thomas from Infamous played it the best.
Wow, Boom with the 2-on-1 situation or 3-on-1 situation, just runs one guy down the field, doesn't get the kill. Now there's 2 left, one on the tower on the Dorito side for Boom, one here in the snake, one impact player left just in the tower on the Dorito.
That is Justin Rabikoff as the last player. No, it's Nick Laval.
Nick
Laval is the last player left alive here to try to save this point for Impact. And he runs
big bite, Nick. I like his move, but it was a real big bite.
Well, I think that was another situation where he didn't know where the body was over here on the snake side.
Yeah, and he did a great job. He snapped out his mirror in the tower.
Or maybe he did, but he knew that they have a 5-point lead. There's not a lot of time left.
He's like,
and he was just trying to make a really cool move.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Though, yeah, I mean, knowing Nick, it was probably the opposite. Because Nick tries to play as tight and smart as he possibly can.
Smart guy. Smart guy. Well, good point for Boom. I don't think that's going to slow Impact down a bit. They're going to come back the next point and play twice as hard and twice as fast.
Well, the problem is there's Nick Laval, and we're in the pits. It's just Boom's running out of time. So even if they did find a way to start figuring out these angles and stop Impact, they're not going to be able to get 4 points with time left. But let's listen in here.
Real estate. Yeah, I agree. Right? And the other thing is our Dorito guys. Yeah. Dalton. Hey, let's go over there. Yeah? Right? Let's not second guess ourselves. Sitting in the back, that's what happened to us. Let's make it some moves. Yeah?
Yeah, I like what Dave's saying, especially with the 5-point lead. Taking advantage of that and see what you can get away with out there, you know? See if you can roll the dice and make some big moves so that in the finals you can pull it back out.
Well, 4-point lead now, but the principle's still sound. Because, yeah, it's not a lot of time left. I mean, the chances of them coming back scoring 4 points in 3 minutes is
Iron Man snake on the break. And they lose him. Also 2 more on the snake side for the Iron Man. So Iron Man, we're loading up snake, 3 bodies this way. Trade My Gun did just the opposite, only put 1 player this way. Heavy guns, and that's how they were able to shoot the Iron Man on the break. So 1 taking a walk from Trade My Gun on the Dorito side, 1 down for the Iron Man. 3-2 match. Outlaws have a slight advantage in points and lead. 5 minutes, a little less than 5 minutes left in the game. Iron Men are going to have to change gears here and start pushing down this field. Trade My Gun's got a player on the wall looking Dorito side, and with the guy there looking Dorito side, if he stays on you, it gets real hard to move through those gaps if you have a disciplined player over there. Trade My Gun's got 2 guns shooting snake side, keeping the Iron Man guys from going forward.
Yeah, but Outlaws able to get a body out.
Yep. And I like those
snake side.
Yeah, I like that lateral move. You don't risk it on the break, but then secondary out there pretty quickly.
So playing the aggressor over here on the snake side so far, the Outlaws, and you can see by his body language he wants to go.
He wants to go. He's getting some paint from across the field. I believe it's the tower on the Dorito side. You can see it's hitting the bunker in the snake corner, that gap right where that guy needs to go through for Trade My Gun to get in the snake.
And there he makes his move, right, and he gets across clean. And just as he does that, Fred Berkeley transitions across.
Yeah. I love that when your guy goes forward and you fill out behind him, give him some more support, talk to him, let him know what's going on because his head is down. He's trying to do work across the field. Outlaws have really stepped up this match. I don't feel like the Iron Men are playing super bad. Obviously, they took a risk on the break with Snake. They lost that guy, but that's the only guy they've lost early at this point. But as that clock starts ticking down, there needs to be a little bit more of a sense of urgency on the Snake side. I don't know if they think the wall's looking their way, but if they need to figure out which way the wall's looking and push down that other tape, they can't just sit there and let the clock run down with a 1-point deficit. And down the body, I know it's tough, but they got to do what they got to do.
Yeah, so with the aggressive setup that the Outlaws have provided for themselves, getting that body and Kroger up into that center 50 early. He's been up there the whole time looking D-side. And then working the body here in the Snake one, getting Berkeley out behind him. They've been the one making the moves. The Outlaws have been making the moves. The Ironmen are the ones who have been content to sit in their bunkers.
Ironmen are still in the same bunkers they started the point off in. Only player that moved was obviously the guy who took the Snake and got shot. No one else has moved since then. And the Outlaws are upper point, so they don't have to go anywhere. They can just sit there and shoot their guns. They got a guy in the center 50.
Yeah.
They got a guy in Snake 1. They got a guy in Dorito 2.
It's almost like the Ironmen are playing like they have a 1 point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and if you look at the Snake guys, they're looking across at the Dorito side of the field, shooting their guns across the field on their knees. Clearly, neither one of those guys wants to get in that Snake and go win this game, and I feel like they have to. Down to 3 minutes left alive.
Yeah, it's tough because Krover, for the Ironman, to try to move up on the D side, because that's all Krover's been doing, is just putting his gun towards that D side. He has not really checked off even on the Snake side, because he knows from the communication he's been getting that he's still got 2 guys strong over here.
Yeah, and there's no one shooting Snake side. There's no one stopping the Ironman from going forward. They're just not going forward. You can hear how quiet it is on the field. No one's really shooting their gun except that center guy, that center wall. Snake corner's thinking a little bit of paint down the lane, but both the Snake guys for the Ironman are either getting pinched so hard from the other tape, or
I just feel like, and then we see Bobby getting shot out of his spot. I don't get it, man. Other than the once the Ironman lost that first body, it's like
they stopped.
All
that was their whole game plan. Yep, I agree.
And even though they're down, maybe it was that they feel they're better gunfighters than the Outlaws. So hey, let's work them out.
Yep.
But still, it just.
Outlaws lose another body from the Dorito side of the field. It's 3-on-3 now. Outlaws have 1 in the center 50, 1 in the Snake 50, and 1 in the temple on the Snake side. It's Berkeley standing over the top there, looking around. They know they have a 1-point advantage. The Snake guy is actually going back for the Outlaws, kind of playing defensively, putting himself probably in a position to protect the guy at the wall. With only 2 minutes left, Ironman starts to make a push down the Dorito side of the field. Greg Sewers. And gets eliminated. Trades out with the center wall. 2-on-2 situation now. 2 Ironmen, 2 trade my guns.
Yeah, Barga. Barga's the good. He's got the good position. The Snake, but just survivability issues. It looks like Berkeley. Well, Berkeley had repositioned to spread the field. Once they lost all those buys, I can't really knock Berkeley too much. He had to come all the way from the back bunker here on the Snake side of the field, get all the way to the back bunker on the D side of the field, and he got clipped doing it.
Yeah.
But that does put Barga kind of in a bad spot right now.
For sure. Can't see his can't play against 2 guys in the position he's at very well.
Well, so now Barga is just hoping to God that he can somehow maybe clip. And he's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I feel like the Ironman won that point, but wasn't necessarily because of the strength of the plays. I think Outlaws just kind of made some mistakes there. Those guys could have sat there and not shot their guns and been just fine.
Yeah, definitely got to give credit, though, to Al Fernandez, number 35 from the Ironman, and Golding, as both those were the 2 guys left alive for the Ironman. They saved that point for this team.
Yeah.
And let's check in again with Lauren.
Thanks. Boom did manage to get that last point against Impact, but Coach Chris Jansen said it's still not enough. They still need to be more patient. He said just because they get a kill doesn't mean they should immediately push up the field. They need to get that kill, chill in their bunker, figure out what's going on across the field, and then figure out what the best opportunity is going to be to make that bump, to make sure they get another kill, and then ultimately get another point. Back to you.
Well, ideally, you would shoot the guy and already know where the other players are, so you can make the move right after shoot the guy. Now, that's ideally, and on this layout, that has proven to be very difficult for the best of the best.
Well, and no one's going to know what his team needs to do more than Chris is going to do. He's the captain. He's the coach. In an ideal situation, you want to do exactly that. You want to shoot that guy and take that advantage before the other team kind of realizes what's going on, but only if that's what you're capable of doing. You know, like whatever hand you're dealt with, that's what you got to play, and if that's what Chris thinks they need to do, that's what they need to do.
So looks like the breakout was clean for both teams. So.
Yeah, the second Impact player going to that cake got bounced going in there.
Zach.
Checked himself. Yeah.
Zach.
2 at home, 2 on the Snake side for Impact, 1 on the Dorito side. Looks like they're kind of content to just shoot their guns, let Boom run into it, not really take any risks. They're trying to contain on the Snake side from the home, the second temple, and that little cake in front of the Snake. The other guns, the Dorito in the back center, are also looking Dorito side, containing that as well. Only real spot to move up the field is probably up the gut for Boom right now. But again, I don't think Boom's got that mentality, especially based on what Lauren just said. I think they're going to sit back and shoot their guns, and it's going to be 2 minutes of what we're seeing right now.
So just 2:31 left here in this match, and Impact not really in a hurry to run down the field, even though we had listened to Dave Bain say, hey, let's not be scared to make some moves here. Let's get used to trying to make these moves, because maybe he thinks that, expecting them to get deep in this tournament that it's going to be those moves and finding them now and having that knowledge that will potentially help them go deep into this tournament, as they expect to do.
And like we talked about earlier, if the other guys are stopping you, they're stopping you. You know, there's 2 or 3 guns, and you got to make a good decision not go through those 2 or 3 guns. But if they're not stopping you, Impact dropping 1 from home.
He was out of the insert back Aztec.
Second Aztec on Snake?
Second Aztec Snake side. Zach Yakimek.
Yeah. Okay, the other guy went to the tower over there.
But, you know, I'm not really going to knock Impact too much because they have this 4-point lead. They need to win this match no matter what. Because they lost that first game
more
to
margin,
the Ironman.
Yeah, so the more margin, the better.
That is true. Definitely the more margin, the better.
Boom taking a walk. 1 player from Boom taking a walk. 4 players left alive for Boom.
Another player for Impact is about to take
3
a walk.
players left from Impact. Good call, Matty. That home guy, it gets so tough to stay in those home bunkers when it's round like that, and they can kind of pinch you from both sides. You know, it's the hardest bunker on the field to play for sure. Sorry, I just made that up. Boom rolling the guns, trying to figure out where those bodies are and who they can kind of pick on a little bit. At the same time, Impact moves up to that 40 Dorito over there. Boom reacts by filling in the wall behind it. But it does not look Dorito side, which kind of surprises me because Impact, I think, is going to look to wrap and try to go into Boom side of the field.
Under a minute.
Oh, he wrapped and shot the wall out. Wow. Big move. And then goes in there 40 Dorito. Big move. Not sure who that was over there. Maybe JC.
That's JC.
Big move. Then gets shot out by the Boom player.
Maybe it was Dalton.
Boom with 3 guys left alive. Impact with 2. Impact still attacking. Impact now loses their 1 lone Snake player. That was Mouse. Got shot out of the original bunker he started at. Impact now looking to catch that Boom player coming around the wall and catches them. He's going to get the Snake guy as well. Yeah, wow, big finish by J-Rab, getting a couple easy kills while Boom guys playing real sloppy there.
Yeah, so that was Dalton, I believe, on the D side, but it doesn't matter as, phenomenal job by Justin Rabikoff to clear the field over there on that D side of the field and secure the victory.
Yeah, I think Boom just lost a 3-on-2 there. Or 4-on-2.
Did time expire? Did they get that point for sure?
I cannot answer that. I know it looked like Justin was hauling.
So I'm getting the info. There's 23 seconds left here in that match. They did get the point, so the score will be 6-1. They will play 1 more point with 23 seconds to see what that point margin ends up being. Most likely, unless we see a bunch of bodies die off the break, which then that's what dictates quick points. Then we'll see Impact, and then we'll go to regulation. Yeah, penalties or deaths off the break, that is what can have force a quick point.
Todd Martinez right up on that net, feeling a lot of pressure for the Ironman to perform.
Yeah, there's only 1 minute and 21 seconds left. It's tied at 3, anyone's game right now. And here's an aggressive break for the Ironman up the center. They send Keith DeVitt up there, and then on a delay, try to get out wide, but not able to drop any bodies, and doesn't look like the Outlaw is able to get a kill either. And here comes the run through in the center as Crover runs through and assassinates Keith DeVitt. Looks like Berkeley is trying to reposition to take Crover's spot in the center, and this is what the Outlaws do this very well. The Outlaws refill the center of the field very well.
That's Jeremy Solom teaching good basic, good fundamentals.
So under a minute to go. Berkeley ends up getting taken out by the Ironman push as Greg Sewers was able to get into D4, and I don't think Berkeley picked him up. There goes another body coming off, and on the strength of that move from Greg Sewers, there's just looks like 2 players left alive.
Boom guy makes a big move, gets Greg Sewers.
Outlaws.
Oh, sorry. Outlaws gets Greg Sewers, gets the center guy as well, gets 2 guys out of that, and then gets caught, leaving Outlaws in a 2-on-1 with Ironman advantage.
Yeah, and the Ironman here, again, with these shadows getting long, it's kind of tough to see out there for these guys.
Oh, and Boom sprinting for the flag.
Yeah, but here comes Golding. Golding was able to get a shot and taps him out before he gets there. And Golding, with just 15 seconds left to go, is going to run in and win this game.
Nice move
for the Los Angeles Ironman.
Great field awareness. If you're not playing the whole field, you don't see that guy moving down the other tape, and you lose that point, and you lose that match. Way to have his head on a swivel and play the whole field.
Yeah, Todd coaching breakout spot over in Europe as Golding pumps his fist in the air. He scouted this guy, and he was like, man, this kid is aggressive. This kid's smart. I really think he can be an asset to the team. Talked to the management of the Ironman, and they started bringing him over. And now finally paying dividends for him as Golding was able to, in all that chaos, when we've seen this is a read and react field. It's scrambled paintball out there. Again, with the shadows getting long, it's kind of tough to see. And Golding able in that chaos, and then and he was able to get the shot on the Outlaw player who was streaking.
Great point.
Yeah, and that wasn't a bad move from the Outlaws either.
No. It was a smart move.
Yeah, trying to get.
He didn't know Golding was in that 50 snake, so he looked in front of him. No one was in front of him. He went. And down on time, down on points, you can't really fault that guy.
So the Ironmen are going to be going 2-0 here on the day as they defeat Impact, and
that must feel really good.
Looking like they are going to defeat the Outlaws. However, there is still about 10 seconds left, and it's a 1-point spread, so they will play that 10 seconds.
What's the fastest point ever?
I think the fastest point ever is like an 8-9 second point.
Oh, then they got this.
But you're running up against the physical ability to sprint this field when you're under 10 seconds.
And with the wall being offset a little bit, you don't have to get as far outside to cross it up.
You can see here on the replay, look at the Outlaws. I think that might have been Weinrob sprinting in, trying to hit that buzzer, but you can see that ball breaking off the top of his head.
Bullet, yeah.
So nice, accurate shooting there by Golding, trying to shoot that.
And Golding was smart. A lot of guys see the other guy running and try to beat him instead of just turning around and shooting him. You know, I would just try to turn around and shoot him. I'm not trying to race anybody out there. 6-1, Impact with a huge lead here. 20 seconds left. Impact just using this as a breakout drill, really. Going to the corner, going to the Dorito, Rainey up the gut. Boom loses one out of the back center pretty early. Secondaries into the Snake. They've got 3 on the Snake side of the field. I believe it's a little bit late, though. I mean, they're pushing, they're going forward now, but I think they needed to do this a few points ago. But again, it's a learning experience. As long as they're coming out here and continually getting better and learning more and playing better and figuring it out, then it's all right.
So Boom going to be losing both their games today. They they lost a relatively close game against the Outlaws. Drew a lot of penalties in that match, and that really hurt them. If they hadn't got those penalties, that would have been a much more competitive match. They could have possibly won that one, but the Outlaws played a little cleaner and a little smarter, and they were able to take that victory. In this game, though, I think, like you had said in the beginning, that it was probably going to be a long game for Boom because Impact lost to the Ironmen. Yeah. And can't even remember the last time that Impact went 0-2 the first day. So knowing they're ranked first and Boom's down near not ranked first. So obviously with a huge advantage, and they made the most of it.
And not to take anything away from Boom, but you got to go out and play Impact like they're Impact and play to your strengths, and you can't really afford to make any mistakes. And they kind of slow rolled a few of those points, lost a few guys early, a few of those points, and against the Impact, man, any mistakes going to cost you. They're that good.
The thing about Boom, I did have a chance to sit down with those guys and talk to them pretty thoroughly at a practice before the last event, and they seem to really kind of have an accurate assessment of where they're at. They knew that, hey, we got to put a lot of work in, because these guys were out there grinding for a couple hours after every other team had left.
You told me that how hard they were working, and I respect that.
And as we were sitting around talking, they're all guys that these are guys that have jobs.
Real people.
These are guys that they love doing it. They love the camaraderie of the team, and they understand they got a lot of work in front of them. And they're
passionate.
They're passionate about it. They're passionate about their squad. And I think that as long as they stay at it and they stay tenacious in that journey, that they could make their way, forward in their try to live that paintball dream.
I mean, I think here goes a big breakout from Trade My Gun, running and gunning all the way to that 50 Snake. I love that, and he's actually going to get. They caught him. I was going to say I think one of the most beautiful things in the world is to try to find something that you're truly passionate about, and then just pour everything you have into that, and just all or nothing, full commitment, and live the dream.
So big congratulations are in order for the Los Angeles Ironmen, who stumbled a little bit here against the Outlaws, but they picked it back up. They won some close points, and they secured a victory, which, in case you're just tuning in, that put it 2-0 on the day.
I would not want to be in that pit if they didn't lose that match, if they lost that match.
Yeah, the Outlaws still in it, though, as they go 1-1.
Yeah.
Boom struggling here, 0-2. So, yeah, Los Angeles Infamous also was able to put 2 wins on the board. Uprising, what a heartbreaking day for them. 2 overtime losses. So thank you guys so much for joining us here for the prelim competition on Friday at the 2017 NXL World Cup. We will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock for the set. Tampa Bay Damage, PC Katana, San Diego Dynasty, and Seattle Thunder. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford. Thank you guys so much for joining us at GoSports.com. See you guys tomorrow.